All right, so I guess I'll just get right into it. So I've been getting a lot better at specifically attracting very specific experiences and people and things into my life.
The specifics is fun, isn't it?
It is. It's very fun.
Do you find the specifics more fun than the general?
Yes.
Yeah, because there's more momentum in it.
Right.
Do you find the specifics more fun if you're not in control?
No.
So you stay general until you've managed control, and then once you know you've got the momentum going in the direction that you're wanting, then you get more and more specific.
Right.
Really good.
So my question is based on an experience I recently had. So about 6 months ago, I got an email from my credit card company saying that they were having a sweepstakes for $20,000, and all you had to do was write a paragraph about your dream vacation. So I was like, easy enough, this is mine, it's happening. So I just put it in my head that I was going to get this $20,000, I was going to go on this trip, and funny enough, I wrote a paragraph about a place I've always wanted to go, Patagonia, which is in South America. And about 2 weeks after I submitted this, one of my college friends called me and was like, hey, like 2 of my friends from London, they want to head to South America. We're trying to get a big group of people going together. Would you want to go? And I was like, only if we're going to Patagonia. And she's like, yeah, that's where they want to go. So it just blew my mind right then and there. And then so in my mind, I was like, all right, so I got half this piece. Now I just need $20,000. So oddly enough, I didn't even know the end of the sweepstakes when they were telling who won, but I kind of forgot about it and just put it in my head that I was going to come into $20,000. And about 2 weeks before I went on this trip, I won $20,000 on a scratch-off lottery ticket. So, yeah. So not even how I expected to get it, but it
So before you
came.
go further, we want to explain some things, because what you lived is the perfect demonstration of what we were talking about earlier, and we want to connect those dots so that everyone can hear it. So you heard us say that the source within you, your inner being, knows where you are in relationship to everything you want.
Right.
And is giving you the information that you need, is revealing it to you. You just got to get in the receptive mode. And the path of least resistance, the only reason that there is resistance on your path is because you put it there. But no worries, Source can always get around the resistance that you've put on your path. So Source knows that you want to go to Patagonia. And Source is saying, you can go anytime, you can go anytime. There's a way for you to go. And you're thinking, not me, not me. So then here comes this credit card offering, which is part of your path of least resistance, because it got you thinking. It caused you to offer a little less resistance. It wasn't the way that you got your trip to Patagonia. It was just the way that you started letting yourself believe in your trip. You see what we're getting at?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the path of least resistance. And so you took the time to write about what you wanted for the first time in a stronger sense of belief than you've ever had before. So your path of least resistance had less resistance on it for a little while than you'd ever had before. So you entered the contest, you sent it, but what you really did was enter a vibrational contest. In other words, because your vortex is full of all kinds of things. In other words, do you realize how many things are in your vortex that your inner being is guiding you toward? That if somebody would just send you an email that told you that they would send you the money if you would just write a paragraph, can you feel what the path of least resistance would be? So anyway, the path became a little clearer for you for just a little while, enough so that your vibrational stance was such that now you could be in the receptive mode of what others were planning to do. But all that was missing was the money. And so then you were inspired, the idea, the timing of the idea to the scratch off. Every now and again, Esther will say, Abraham, that was just remarkable, and that was just unbelievable. She doesn't mean it's unbelievable, because as it happened, she's now believing it. She just means this was formerly unbelievable, and even now it's happened, sort of hard to believe. And we say, Esther, we keep your Earth spinning in its perfect orbit, in perfect proximity with other planets. We think we can guide you to a scratch-off ticket. You all just make it harder than it needs to be. In other words, the money could be directly downloaded into your account. You wouldn't have to go through the gyrations that you go through,
Right.
if you believed it.
So then my question is, after attracting something so specific and so obvious that I got this because
But wait, was it so specific, or was it engineered to get around the resistance that you had in place? Ooh, hear that. It was engineered to get around the resistance that you always have in place. There's always some resistance. It's okay. It's okay. Just try not to wallow in it.
So then my question is, why, after having this experience, do I still sometimes doubt? Why can't I?
We wonder the same thing. It's just hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah,
Practice thoughts. Practice thoughts. And because there's a part of you that still thinks that was a little bit of chance. In other words, the email sort of random, and the lottery ticket sort of random, and all sort of random, and nothing's random. Nothing's random. You're good. You're just letting it in as best you can. But when you have experiences like that, and you acknowledge them, and you make the correlation between your desire and your emotion and the inspired action that came as a result of that, before long you can begin to chart a very specific, very cognizant, aware pattern of how it unfolds. And everyone here got it. In other words, it's really easy to understand that. This is the piece, this is the new piece for today that we want to really highlight in a way that you all will never, ever forget it. These are the new pieces to this conversation today. Path of least resistance and path of most allowance are the same thing. So when life experience causes you to desire something, and your inner being joins that desire and holds the vibrational frequency of it, there is a calling to you that you are receiving at different levels of awareness. Once the momentum of it begins to happen, your level of awareness is potentially greater. And so the answer to your question, if we were standing in your physical shoes, the question we would be asking is, so how can I do this again and again and again and again and again? And the answer to that is by being general enough that you allow the momentum to get going, and then being alert enough, aware enough to realize that as it is going, that you can feel the momentum of it, that you can actually feel that you're on the path of it, and then deliberately enhancing that feeling of alignment as you go. So we want to go back to the first questions that we asked you. Is it more fun to go slow or fast?
Slow.
Is it more fun to go slow or fast?
Fast.
Well, it's more fun to go slow if you're out of control. Esther got into her little Audi R8, and we promise you, she had no intention of going slow.
Definitely not.
It sits low to the ground. It is aerodynamically engineered. There is close to no resistance in the transmission and the engine combination in that thing. It is the most energizing physical experience that she has ever experienced, because the creation of it is an example of close to no resistance. She found that she's been driving around in these big buses where when you go around a corner, you got to slow way down. Not the R8. Don't need to slow down. She decided to test it to its limits. How fast can I really go around this 45-mile-an-hour curve? 45 seems ridiculous. In a bus, yes, but in the Audi R8, no. In other words, testing the limits. She spent hours one night out in the middle of the desert, all alone, taking that off-ramp, and then driving the 5 miles to turn around, then taking the off-ramp again. And she figured that if she crashed and burned, she wouldn't bother anybody because there was nobody else around. She wanted to know, how fast can I take this 45-mile-an-hour corner? And she knew when she'd reached her limit. She could tell that's the last free pass she was going to get. She could feel, because the dynamics, the physics of this time-space reality showed her under these conditions, on this track, the highway, on this track, in this car, under these conditions, this is as far as I best go until they devise an even better car. Or an even more experienced driver. There are a lot of variables there. So that's what you're doing. You're testing your limits. So when we ask the question, is it more fun to go fast or slow? There's no right answer to that, really. Conceptually, fast always feels better, provided there's no resistance. But if there's resistance so that fast makes you uneasy, then you want to slow it down. And so the answer that we want to come back from you is, Abraham, I'm not looking for fast or slow to be the right answer. I'm looking for alignment to be the right answer. I want to go as fast as I can go and not crash and burn. That's really what you want to say. I want the energy to go as fast as it can go and me not offer resistance. So if you've got a belief that has a lot of resistance in it and you beat the drum of a desire, you're setting yourself up for a tug of war, because as you amplify your desire, given the resistance that you hold, now there's more resistance within you and you're not having a fun ride. And so we don't ever want you to believe that your work is to slow down the desire, because you can't really slow it down. But don't try to amp your desire faster than the boundaries of your resistance. Can you hear what we're getting at? And so the true work is in the releasing of resistance. The true work is in meditating. The true work is in putting your feet in the bay. Your true work is in getting outside and finding yourself happy with nature. Your true work is anything and everything that you can do to bring yourself into alignment with who you really are. And once you know you're in alignment, then turn your attention to things that you care about. But if you turn your attention to things that you care about before you're in alignment, now you might be going too fast for the course.